our new technology. Thumbs up to Jamie. Okay, we're about to start this meeting, Jamie. She can't hear us. That's a problem. Let us call this meeting to order of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners Planning and Building Committee. Today is Tuesday, September 12th. Could we have a roll call, please?
Crawford.
Here.
McGillivray.
Here.
Berman.
Here.
Teets.
Here.
Weipert.
Here.
And Dwyer, Quarles, and Jackson are all absent with notice. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Could we have a motion to approve the previous minutes of August 29th? Moved by McGillivray, supported by Commissioner Teets. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passed. Could we have approval of today's agenda? Motion by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGillivray. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Okay. Do we have any public comment today? Seeing no public comment, we'll move on to today's regular agenda. And item number 1 is facilities management amendment to the lease agreement with the City of Troy for the 52-4 District Courthouse to extend the term for 15 years or to exercise the option to extend the current lease for 5 years. And we're going to have an automatic referral to finance. Could I have a motion, please? Commissioner Berman, supported by Commissioner Teets. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Jody Hall from Oakland County Corporation Council.
Jill Palulian, 52-4, Troy.
Paul Zackos from Facilities.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have good news. And Commissioner Teets, you should know, last night, City of Troy passed our request to extend our lease for 15 years. You were there? Okay. Okay. And I don't know how much background you need, but the county has a lease with the City of Troy for our district court building down there, and it's set to expire in a year and a half. There's also a proposal on the November ballot for the City of Troy that would require approval by the voters of all leases over 2 acres. So in advance of this, we requested them to extend our lease for 15 years. When we were drafting the resolution, it was unclear whether City of Troy was going to vote yes or no. So we did put an alternative in there because our lease provides for a 5-year option to renew at our discretion. So what we will be doing is having the amendment signed once approved by the Board of Commissioners and sending it to Troy to sign. So that's good news from last night. So if anybody has any questions.
Any questions?
All the other terms of the lease stay the same, just extending the term.
Does avoid any uncertainty.
Yep, 15 years, yep. I don't think you guys want to build a new courthouse in Troy, do you? Maybe Jill wants you to.
No, I know. We have a very good home, and the city offices and the city takes extremely good care of us maintenance-wise. There are no issues. They've been an excellent landlord. I've dealt with some others in the past, having been out in Independence Township at the 52-2 for 31 years before I went down to Troy, and these folks are fantastic and taking care of us. So please leave us in our home.
That's great to hear. Any other questions? Let's call the roll.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGillivray.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Whitebird.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
It's-
you.
It's good the way it is, right?
Yep, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
Yep, thank you.
Good work staying right on the edge of that. That's- Item number 2, Economic Development and Community Affairs, a resolution approving the provisions of a brownfield plan amendment for the Iron Ridge project, City of Ferndale and Pleasant Ridge. We're also going to set a public hearing on this matter, and before you, you have a cleaned up resolution. Moved by Commissioner McGilvery, supported by Commissioner Teets. Good morning.
Good morning, Brad Hanson, Senior Business Development Representative from EDCA. What we have in front of us today is amendment to the Brownfield Plan that this body, along with Finance and the full Board of Commissioners, passed in July. The reason for the amendment is there's, when it went to the state level, look at state funding for it, the state wanted to see 3 parcels removed from the Brownfield Plan because they were not yet part of a merged property, so they were not considered adjacent or contiguous to the facility or contaminated property. So they wanted to see those parcels removed. So that's why what we have in the amendment in front of us today is just removing of 3 parcels on the Ferndale side.
Okay. And any questions? Commissioner McGilvery.
Yeah, it's on the agenda tonight for Pleasant Ridge, and theirs is corrected.
Yes, I actually just got an email from the city manager as far as it's on their current agenda. I forwarded the corrected OCBRA resolution to him yesterday afternoon, so he has that and he's well aware.
All right.
And this was just a matter of time, right? This came before us a few weeks or a month ago, and it was the parcels were on in two municipalities on the border there.
Correct.
And
Yeah, we got a little bit of a time crunch with the project. They're ready to go, but they need all the approvals to happen, and that's why we're trying to move pretty fast with this. And I apologize again for my late edits. The OCBRA met yesterday afternoon, and so the resolution and your packet for the OCBRA changed a little bit. But we're trying to move as fast as possible for the developer so he can get a shovel in the ground and start cleaning up and redeveloping.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Berman.
So just a quick question. So the 3 parcels that are being removed from brownfield tax credit status, those are still part of the development plan?
Correct.
They're not getting credits for
Correct.
that?
They're in part of they're in the middle of the development on the Bermuda Street. And at a later date, I'm assuming once those parcels are merged, as long as it happens before this the end of this year, they'll be able to come back for another amendment. And I think there's future phases, so there may be a future amendment to this brownfield plan to include those parcels plus other parcels.
That's good enough. Good question. Thank you. Any other questions? Let's call roll.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Whitebird.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We will set a public hearing on this matter for September 28th, 2017 at 9:30 a.m. That'll be our Board of Commissioners meeting.
Thank you.
Item number 3 is Water Resources Commissioner 2017 Lake Level Assessments for the Operation and Maintenance Resolution. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike McMahon. Oh, sorry.
Need a motion? Commissioner Berman, supported by Commissioner Teets.
Mike McMahon, Chief Engineer with the Water Resources Commissioner's Office.
Joel Cohn, Oakland County Water Resources.
We annually bring these assessments to the board, and the first one here is for lake levels. There are 29 districts that have been established through circuit court order following a study that was done. The Board of Commissioners has designated the Water Resources Commissioner as the agency to operate and maintain these structures. The statute says that anytime we assess over $10,000 annually that we're to come to the board. So not all of these districts have assessments being proposed over $10,000, but we bring all of them for your consideration and approval. There are 35 structures that are operated and maintained. We have lake level technicians that go out on a daily basis. They visit each structure 1 to 2 times a week and make adjustments to maintain those levels at the legal established level, as well as clean bar grates and do other maintenance types of things. This last year, we did our triennial inspections, and so there's a list that's been generated of repairs in addition to the normal maintenance activities that will be addressed in this next year. The reports that you have break it down by community, break it down by lake. And one item I want to bring to your attention was brought to our attention late yesterday, that there was on the Orchard Lake assessment a small assessment to the county for a parcel that should have been excluded from the district. So we were instructed that we would need to prepare a report to fiscal making that change. It doesn't change the overall amount, it just changes the distribution among the assessed parties. And the county would not have an assessment on that one.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Berman?
I have a question. So does the local municipality contract with us and WRC, and do they, what happens if they don't accept this assessment and don't pay the assessment? Like, how does that work?
Well, I don't know that the local municipality, I don't think, has an approval. It's the Board of Commissioners that approves these assessments. These districts were established through petition by the residents through the Board of Commissioners.
So this is a commission assessment? I guess I'm confused on how the district works.
So there's a district that's set up through the county that's established. So there's no at-large amount for the community, so it all goes to the residents on their winter taxes as a special assessment.
Got it.
Commissioner McGilvery?
It really doesn't have anything to do with this, but do you test the lakes for E. coli? Is that your department's, or is that the
No.
health department?
I think be the health.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Let's call the roll.
Berman,
Yes.
Teets,
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Whiteford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'll need a motion for direct referral to finance.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvery. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Item number 4 is Water Resources Commissioner 2017 Lake Level, or 2017 Chapter 4 Drain Maintenance Assessment Resolution. Good morning. Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvery.
Again, we bring these assessments annually to the board for approval. We have, I don't know how many hundreds of Chapter 4 drains. The Chapter 4 drains, Chapter 4 refers to the drain code, Michigan Drain Code, and those were typically the ones that were established back when most areas were agricultural. Some of those areas have been urbanized, so we have both open channel and enclosed drains among the Chapter 4. Those Chapter 4 drains are assessed directly to the benefiting properties. In this case, there are some at-large assessments that the county or the state or whomever, whatever road agency or even railroads are responsible for. We evaluate the budgets every year. We look at the balances of all those Chapter 4 drains and make a determination as to what the upcoming maintenance needs are. And presented to you are those proposed and recommended maintenance assessment amounts.
Okay. And then the difference on this one, the Chapter 4 and the Chapter 18, it's state statute that's created these that came out of the 30s and the 20s, and whereas the first one was the citizens actually petitioned for.
Correct. These are in accordance with the Michigan Drain Code, different chapters in the Drain Code. There's a little bit of difference in the way those are established. The Chapter 18s have exclusively been used in West Bloomfield and Oakland Township.
Any questions from what I said? Let's call the roll.
Teets,
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Whiteford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We'll also need a motion for direct referral. Moved by Commissioner Teets, supported by Commissioner Crawford. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passed. Item number 5 is Water Resources Commissioner. This one is 2017 Chapter 18 Maintenance Assessment Resolution. Need a motion? Commissioner McGilvery, supported by Commissioner Berman. Good morning again.
Good morning. Again, these are very similar to the Chapter 4s, just established under a different chapter of the Drain Code. And as I just mentioned, are exclusively at this point used in Oakland Township and West Bloomfield. They, again, are drains that are assessed directly to the property owners, and as the lake level assessments, these show up on the winter tax rolls of those parties being assessed.
Any questions? Let's call the roll.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Whiteberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Pass. This one also needs a motion for direct referral to finance. Moved by Commissioner McGilvery, supported by Commissioner Teets. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Item number 6, and you have a new blue back in front of you. Item number 6 is Facilities Management, Facilities Plan and Engineering, Children's Village H, Mandy's Place, Bedroom Redesign Project. I'll need a motion. Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner Berman.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ed Joss, Manager of Facilities Planning and Engineering, here with Jody Overall and Kathy Forsley with the Village. The project before you is the Children's Village Mandy's Place Bedroom Redesign Project. The project will consist of renovations on the main floor of H building in both the boys and the girls wings. The project will divide the existing large sleeping areas into multiple smaller sleeping areas. We will also be relocating the existing laundry room from the basement up to the main floor, as well as building one additional laundry room. This project was competitively bid by Frank Rewald & Son, who is one of our annual construction managers. The project estimate is just under $400,000. In your packet, you have a campus map showing the location of the project as well as a breakdown of the cost estimate. And with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner McGilvery.
Yeah, as far as, did this go out on Mitten at all?
Yes, it did. There was a notification that was put out on Mitten, like we had talked about before, letting everybody know that the county had a project out, and if they were interested to contact Frank Rewald & Son. And I think between all the trades, we had 35 different subcontractors bid on the various trades.
Good. How's it going out there?
In general?
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. We're looking forward to this renovation. It'll allow us to be more strategic in where we place kids for sleeping based on whatever their special needs are or behaviors. So this will be an improvement to the building structure.
Any questions? Call the roll.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Whiteberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Item number 7 is Department of Facilities Management authorization to market and negotiate the sale for 1700 Brown Road. Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvery. Good morning.
Good morning, I'm Paul Zackles from Facility, Property Manager. I'll send these around so you can really get started on here. There are 2 appraisals. And I have an aerial and some surveys of the property.
Can't put this on our big screen. And who do you have with you? Oh,
Our Goldsworth, Director of Facilities Management.
so if you want to give the committee some background?
Yes. So the animal shelter, new building, as far as the last update I have is that they're moving out, this September, and they'll have their open house October. And we've also talked with the sheriff and their uses of the property, so we've already given them some alternatives into their uses that are out there, which are storage, training, and a shop. And the property is,
And just and this hasn't come around that often, and two of the commissioners are fairly new. I mean, the whole background is, we've had animal control on Brown Road and the trustees camp, and slowly that's all phased out, and now it's time to market that property now that there's new animal shelter.
the property has been owned by the county for almost 50 years, and the trustee camp was used from a long time ago. That's been shut down about 10 years. It's about 40.8 acres if we count all the acreage. And the uses, the property is being underutilized for the value. So that was one of the reasons why, after the animal shelter is moving out, that the property has a high, it's in a prime area, that the value would be best utilized being sold, and a developer or end user developing the property, for instance, a tier 1 auto supplier or some type of industrial company would want that property as a headquarters or a home base. So the property was always owned by the county, and it had a residential zoning. So before marketing, we took some steps to rezone the property and do certain things to get it ready to put on the market. It was just, the rezoning is now complete through the city of Auburn Hills, and it is now light industrial. So from the studies that we have, the appraisals, and talking with the experts, the light industrial is the best use and would obtain the highest value. So the two appraisals were done by different appraisers, one MAI and one a general certified. One came in at 4.6 million, the other came in at 4.7 million, which is a nice spread. They also talked about, because that property has all these buildings on it, that the county is not going to tear the buildings down, so that a new buyer would probably deduct from the price the cost of doing that. So we're here today to try to give you an idea of where the marketing price would be set. In one of the appraisals, one of the appraisers had mentioned that he's at 4.7 million, that you probably market the property higher than that. Obviously, we want to start higher. So his suggestion was 5.2 to 5.5 million. I think that the 5.5 to maybe as high as 6 would probably be a good range to start at. So of the 40 acres, there's about 16 of it that are wetlands, slopes, buffers for the wetlands, and an isolated part of the property. So of the 40 acres, really about 26 or maybe 25 to 27 in that range are really a usable property for value. Typically, developers or investors or builders don't pay for wetlands. However, in this case, the wetlands would contribute to the value because of a lot of different uses that they may have. Open area, there might even be some type of natural resources that they could use for that. So the property does have a high, it's in a prime area, it does have a high value, and we feel like we can go to the market with selling it ourselves and then having brokers come, and there'd be a commission included in the sale price. So we have Art was had given me a subscription to CoStar, which is the commercial multi-list service that's national, and it's a very big company now. So I could put it in CoStar and LoopNet. Those two are owned by the same company. CoStar is where all the brokers go, commercial brokers go to list and buy and look for properties. LoopNet is its sister company, and that's where all end users or business owners or people who are in commercial real estate that go direct for listings and sales. We could also put an advertisement in Crane's Business, and we'll put signs on the property. So with those four steps, the property will have all the exposure that it needs to the community, to the commercial and industrial community. We are also meeting with Auburn Hills next Monday, and Auburn Hills is very very up on all of their real estate and all of the markets and all the buyers and all the players in that space, so that any suggestions that they have, we'll take. So Steve Cohen from Auburn Hills Planning has been a real help in a lot of this work that we've done to get the property zoned. Yes. So with marketing, thank you. When we're marketing the property, we've Dan Hunter couldn't be here because he's out of the country, but again, when this hits the market, it'll be big news. So it's one of the last large parcels in Auburn Hills that could be developed. Although it doesn't have frontage on I-75, it has easement issues with high tension lines. It really has narrow frontage. So there's some negatives to it, but obviously there's a lot of positives too. So that, but with the marketing, we're working in a partnership with Economic Development, Dan Hunter and his team, so that when we're ready to pull the lever on all the marketing and advertising, we'll be working with their team to make sure it's done, and that the market has all the information that they need. So.
Commissioner Crawford has down first.
Yeah, so bottom line, how much do we expect to receive from this after deductions for deconstruction and whatever else?
Well, I think they were trying to figure out what we marketed at.
Yeah, I know, but what do you expect to receive?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll have multiple offers. I'm thinking that there'll be a situation where it may be a bid up war, or because of again the attractive location and the use of the property. One scenario, if we start in the $5 million range, I would expect offers would be deducted from the demolition cost. Would probably be taken right off from any potential buyer. And the demolition cost estimates in the appraisals, I think one appraiser had $400,000. The county had Rewald do an estimate, and that was $900,000. So I think if we use maybe a range of $500 to $600 to take a deduction for that cost. So for instance, if you had an offer at $5 million and they took off $500,000 for the demo, you're at 4.5. So that's one scenario. I don't really know what we're going to end up with, but we definitely want to be right in that range. I'd like to be higher too.
So 4.5 plus or minus some, probably. Not lower than 4, probably.
We don't want to be lower than 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Commissioner McGovern?
Paul, just a question, would it be more valuable as commercial property over industrial?
We talked with the appraisers, and they did their analysis. We also talked with the Planning Commission at Auburn Hills, and they did an analysis. And based on the uses in that area, and based on what's around there, light industrial was the best zoning for that property.
I just thought with Great Lakes Crossing or whatever there, and there's a lot of retail around there, I just thought that would be a good use. You know, it's close to all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
It was
asked.
about a mile further north
Yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where Costco is and all the retail. This is more of a industrial area. But they're getting high numbers for industrial. We're talking about 177,000 to 200,000 per acre, which really, is the top of the market, so.
Do we have any telecommunications out there, any long-term leases, anything like that? Any towers?
There's no towers there that I've ever seen, yeah, there's no towers. So
you're looking for some guidance on setting a range, or just giving an advisory that you're gonna market it for somewhere around 6 million and?
yes, I think my range, starting high, would be, I don't see any reason not to. You can always lower it, but I still want to be realistic too. So finalizing the actual buildable acres that are used, like right now I have 26.22, and I hired a engineering company to do an analysis of all the different property lowlands and what is actually usable. So every usable acre that can be sold, times 200,000 is, gets the extra money. So, but right now I'm at 26.22. That puts it at about 5 million, 4.8. I feel pretty confident that we would start the property around 5.5, 5.75, something like that. Maybe just under 6.
So we're requesting the committee's approval to authorize our proceeding with the marketing of the property.
Any other questions?
This has been a fun job, putting this is the kind of thing that I like. So the rezoning, the potential development, the return that the county is going to have, the animal shelter moving out to its new location. I mean, that's all good stuff. And then
Pet Adoption Center. I am a spoker too.
Okay. The new pet adoption center, yes, it's really wonderful. So so this will be exciting. This project, taking it to the market and seeing where we come out at. I'm excited about it.
So we have a motion to proceed? So motion to proceed with the marketing in the range you just explained to us, supported by Commissioner Crawford. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, you need a roll call?
It's committee approval.
Okay. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Great.
Any
Aye.
opposed? That passed.
And then, of course, we'll be back to you with
Right.
the
Any-
best offer that has been made with a request to proceed with all the legal stuff, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any communications? Seeing no communications, any other business? Seeing no other business, we will have this meeting adjourned.